Hello and welcome to Musical Miles Podcast. I'm your host, Byron Duffin, and I am here with Darci Carlson.
Hey-o.
Great to have you.
Thank you for having me,
Thanks
Byron.
for taking time out of your busy schedule. We're here at the BBR.
Yes, Braun Brothers 2024.
You bet. So
Yes.
this is the 40th anniversary.
Yes.
So exciting times for the Braun
It
family.
is. It's been around a long time. It's an Idaho staple.
It is. Actually, we were talking about that. I asked Gary Braun last night, I said, is this not the longest running music festival in the country? It has to be one of.
It has to be close. There's a lot. I know the folk festivals might have us beat.
Okay.
Folk and bluegrass might have us beat. But I know that for 40 years, anywhere in the Pacific Northwest, that's a pretty big deal for especially country Americana.
That's huge.
Yeah,
That's huge,
absolutely.
huge. Well, so we're excited because there's so much going on this week here in Chalice. We're at the Roadhouse in Chalice, beautiful facility. Really, really grateful to the owners, Andy and his beautiful wife.
Yeah, Mia. Love you, Mia.
And they are so gracious to let us come and do the interviews here. And thankful that you're willing to sit down with us as well.
Oh, absolutely. I know everybody's kind of running around like a chicken with their heads cut off, but, that's the name of the game. But the thing I love about this festival so much is that there is a lot of hang time. All the artists do get out. We go to the bars. We go hang out with our friends. We try to enjoy it as well. I was telling everybody last night, I was like, it's like a playcation.
Right.
Even though we're playing and we're busy, it's still fun. So
Sure.
I like to go do things like this. This is fun for me.
It's cool because you have such a busy schedule. You're such a road warrior. I follow you on social media. We met a couple of years ago. Maybe it's been longer than that, 4 or 5 years ago. And in Bone with Jeff.
Yeah.
And then we've seen you play in Pendleton at the Jackalope
Jackalope
Fest.
Jamboree.
And then we also saw you. Shanda and I came and saw you in Austin in January.
Yeah, that
came
was
and saw
so
you at
fun.
the brewery, and it was fun to catch up. But so tell me, Darci, kind of what the whole premise of the Musical Miles podcast is all about is the artist, the music, and the venues, and supporting the artist, really, to help get your name out there, because it's a tough business, right? It's a
absolutely.
tough business. Tell me a little bit about your musical journey. Where did you get your start? Why did you choose this lifestyle?
Yeah, I wake up every morning and I go, what asshole signed me up for this?
Yeah.
But it's been in my blood. Since I was a little girl, I was always dancing on top of picnic tables, and I was in ballet class wanting to be the center of attention and a cheerleader, and I asked my dad to get me into guitar lessons when I was 10 years old. I've always loved singing along to The Wizard of Oz, like Little Mermaid. I loved music. I loved song.
Sure.
I loved female artists. I think my first cassette tape was Amy Grant.
Oh, okay.
Loved Amy.
Yes.
And Cyndi Lauper and, Madonna.
Right.
I looked up to those women and I was like, I want to be that.
Sure.
And if I can do that for other little girls, that is, for me, what I feel like I was put on this earth to do is inspire women, because women inspire me every day. And I love being a songwriter. I love playing the guitar, but I always say that first I'm a performer and I love to make people happy, and that's my favorite part about it, honestly.
Well, you bring a lot of energy to the stage. I love to watch you perform, and I love to watch Jeff perform as well. There's a guy who absolutely loves his guitar and is a great performer, but I love to watch you, and this is about you today. So tell me, you grew up in Seattle.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about your youth and growing up.
My mom and dad are super supportive of my music. Both of them, they're not musicians.
Okay.
They're just, salt of the earth, blue collar, wonderful people. Patty and Mike. My dad did have a guitar laying around. Him and his brothers would take us on camping trips and play the acoustic guitars drunk around the campfire,
Right.
That's what I remember, and I just thought it was so cool. And I remember my dad taught me, I think it was House of the Rising Sun was like the first song I ever learned on the guitar.
Wow.
But, I wanted, like I said, I was inspired by all the cassette tapes that my dad would let me purchase at Fred Meyer and, the little drugstores back in the day. And I always knew that I wanted to do it. And so I started an all-girl punk rock band when I was in high school. We were called the No Great Shakes.
The No
Great Shakes. And it was
Wow.
semi-performance art and punk rock. It was pretty ridiculous, but I was always pushing the boundaries and wanting to be a little bit weird. But I always loved the glitter and the costumes, and I still do to this day.
Sure.
But I always had all-girl punk rock bands. I think the next time I started a band, like a serious band, was when I'd lived in Montana, moved back to Seattle, and got out of a pretty lame relationship. And I missed my guitar. You know, I was like, God, I really haven't played in a couple of years. You know, and this was when I was in my early 20s. And I met this gal, Geneva, and we were both kind of going through similar transitions in our lives and just becoming adults and partying and, you know, new friend circles and really delving into who we wanted to become. And we started a band, the Dolly Rottens, which was an all-girl punk rock band as well.
Okay.
And that was super fun, super crazy. She was one of the best songwriters I've ever co-written with, and one of my best friends. But, you know, as time went on, we released our only album, Honeymoon's Over. And that was pretty short-lived. We broke up right after that release.
Okay.
And that was when I jetted off to the country side of things.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, how do you make that leap from punk rock band to country?
Byron, it's easier than you think. I always
music's music.
There's
right?
this old saying that, you know, every punk rocker ends up turning into a country artist at some point, because it is so, you know, if you do know anything about music theory and music, the songwriting is pretty similar.
Okay.
It's just really how you treat it, you know,
Sure.
and the instrumentation. But I was always raised on Hank Jr. and Waylon Jennings, Merle Haggard, Patsy Cline, Tammy Wynette. My mom was always singing Patsy Cline around the house. As a matter of fact, I thought my mom wrote those songs. I remember being a little girl at the bowling alley. There was like a little daycare center that my mom and dad would go to bowling league.
Uh-huh.
And there was a bar right next to it. Bar bowling,
kids.
Babysitter. Yeah, wow. Yeah, the 90s, wild times. But I would hear my mom singing, and so I would sneak out of the daycare center, and I would see my mom on stage singing Crazy and Walking After Midnight. I remember that as a little girl, and I thought my mom was like a singer. I know.
So was this karaoke that
yeah,
she
it was just freaking drunk karaoke. She's probably drinking White Russians and spelting out Patsy Cline.
I love it.
Could you just imagine? Crazy! And there I am like,
oh, mama.
Yeah, but I remember finding that out and being like, when I finally did like hear a Patsy Cline record and like make the you know, like look at her and like look at my mom. Wait, that's not the same, but it still inspired me.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter.
Yeah, no.
But I saw that and I was like, I could sing like that. You know, I have a deeper voice. My mom has a little bit of a deeper voice.
We love to listen to you sing.
Yeah, thank you. But yeah, so after the punk rock thing, because I was a kid, I was rebellious. I was raised in Seattle. I wanted to play Alice in Chains and Soundgarden and L7 and Veruca Salt.
Right.
You know, I wanted to rock.
Right.
But you know, my roots were always that old Patsy Cline, you know.
Cool.
I love that. So going into country was easy for me, and it was natural when we broke up and I was scorned and I was angry and I didn't want it to end. It was like a bad breakup.
Sure.
It was like you go to the other thing, right? The other comfort zone. And that was immediately country music. And within my first 2 weeks of the breakup, I got kicked off of a tour that I was supposed to go play mandolin and guitar on because they didn't want a girl on the road.
Wow.
Don't even get me started on that. I know it was literally like this sad puppy sitting outside the van with my bags, and they were like, "Yeah, we decided that we'd rather not take you." And I literally was like, "What?" It was so heartbreaking. But it literally, in that week, I was actually just talking to somebody about this. He was like, "Didn't you in 1 week record an album and then go on the road with like Shooter Jennings?"
Oh, you're kidding me.
I was like, kind of. I didn't go on the road with Shooter Jennings, but I ended up going on the road on the same Farmageddon Fest, like run, that the band that kicked me off the tour did. And I opened for Shooter Jennings for my first show.
That's so
And I
cool.
recorded a record.
Yeah.
Like I just busted out songs. I was like, really? You're going to kick me off this tour?
Let me show you.
Watch mama go. Get out of my way, boys.
Don't tell me, show me.
Honestly, and that's what I tell girls all the time when girls are like, I wish I could do what you could do. I'm like, you freaking can.
Yeah.
You really just have to get a fire lit under your ass and decide that you're going to freaking do it.
You know, I was just listening to Django Walker's stuff because we're going to meet with him this week.
Yeah.
Hopefully interview him.
Love Django.
But what made me think of this is Guy Clark, right? Guy Clark's song, "The Cape." And there's a line in there that says he didn't know he couldn't fly, so he did. So that's essentially what you did, and really, we hope that's what's happening with this podcast. We didn't know how to do a podcast, so we're doing it.
Byron, that's why I'm here. I'm here to support you. I love people that have good goals and dreams, and I think this is a wonderful thing. There needs to be more talk of the roots Americana DIY musicians, like all of us here at BBR, like most of the artists, you know, like I know for me and Jeff especially, and I know the Bronze, you know, being raised in Idaho and you know, starting, you know, teaching ourselves how to play music and being always, it was always a part of us. And we need people like you to get the word out about.
I appreciate the situation you're in. Shanda and I love live music. We love music in general. Her mother was a songwriter in Arizona.
Oh, that's fabulous.
And I, you know, but we have no natural music talent, right? But we love music. But I told you this a couple of times, but at 63 years old, I decided I'm going to force myself to learn to play the guitar. I started 50 years ago and didn't stick with it, but now there's no excuses with the apps and.
Oh no, it's so easy nowadays. And you can do it.
I just love this music and this. And I want to get better at it.
Well, it's a community nonetheless, and that's the cool thing about music is you don't have to play.
Well, and you don't.
You got 2 ears. You can listen.
Exactly, and you don't even have to play good. As long as you get some joy from the music and from what you're doing.
Absolutely.
And so
hey, trust me, I've seen some of the most amazing, like talented artists, but been bored out of my freaking mind watching it. You know, like that's again why I go back to like I love to be a performer.
Yes.
You know, I've been a model. I've been an actress. I've done all the things, and I do love playing the guitar. Am I a great guitar player? Hell no. Am I a great songwriter? No. But do I love it?
Yes.
And do I emulate how much I love it and how excited and how happy I am to be doing it and have a crowd and people singing along? Abso-freaking-lutely.
Yeah.
You know, that's what it's all about.
Well, I love your energy, and I've never been around you that you weren't just this.
Oh,
right? And I appreciate that about you.
I appreciate it.
And so let's talk a little bit about the album you did when you first got into country. You recorded an album. What was that called?
Release Me.
Release Me.
Yes, and that was my first record. I recorded it pretty like DIY lo-fi. Okay. But that was the record that I first got nominated with Dale Watson's Ameripolitan Music Awards in Texas.
Right.
So I was shocked that anyone even knew who I was.
Right.
Especially an icon like Dale Watson, like somebody I look up to.
Right.
So that was kind of the start of like I said, the fire. You know, it was just like, I can run with this.
Well, right. Well,
this is working.
Somebody lit the spark, right, and then the flames just built.
Yeah, and it kept building, and
your T-shirt right there.
Right, Cowgirl Summer, baby.
Yeah,
absolutely. It's my Vinyl Ranch. It's a company that I model for and rep. Yeah. Anyway, it really just took off, and it was cool to be a part of the boys club and be, you know, respected as an artist and a songwriter. And I felt like I just naturally fit into it. And it was a little like, you know, the Farmageddon Fest was something that kind of embraced me. Mm-hmm. That's where I met people for the first time, like the goddamn Gallows and Weed Eater. These are like these like metal, punk, bluegrass, but country bands.
Okay.
And so I kind of fit in, right? With the Dolly Rottens and then me and, you know, this kind of like gutter punky, like thumping on the guitar and like quick words. And it was just fun, you know? I identified with it and it let me touch on honky tonk and it made sense. So when Dale Watson called me Outlaw Country, I was like, what? You know, I didn't set out to be that. Like, I was like, Outlaw Country, huh? Okay, cool. I'll take it. Right. And I was nominated for 3 years. And then I won an award in 2017. I was the Outlaw Female of the Year, and Hank 3 was Outlaw Male of the Year. Oh, cool. So that was pretty cool, right? To, like, share a trophy with somebody in the Williams legacy. But because of all that, and knowing that, I mean, I recorded that record with a sock on the microphone in my ex-boyfriend's living room. Oh, wow. But to be nominated for an award in Texas for that, I was like, okay, I got this. Like, this is my home.
Am I getting
punked? Right, I know.
At first, right?
But it was like, shit, I can do this, you know? Like, because it is good. I mean, like, I know how to write a catchy song, and, like, you know, it was fun. Yeah. And so since they embraced me, I was into it.
Let's talk about the songwriting process a little bit and some of the songs that you've written, because I want to know, basically, what's it take to write a song, and then what's your favorite song you've written, and then what's your favorite cover that you do. So let's go to the songwriting process first.
Songwriting is one of those things that you just have to practice every single day, like anything else. And I'm preaching to myself as well. You have to do it every day. Not every song is going to be heard by everybody. Not every song's going to make the cut, but it's the practice of it and doing it and getting out of your own head and not overthinking things, just letting it flow. I'm trying to get better at that.
Do you journal a lot?
I do. Okay. I try to journal every day.
Okay.
And life's busy, but remembering things, being able to go back and reread words and thoughts and memories, and it does help the writing process. I'm not a very deep writer when it comes to my songs, but I'm a very deep writer when it comes to my personal journals.
Okay. Yeah.
But when it comes to songs, like I always go to the party and the drinking, the boys, the cowboys, the cowgirls, the glitter, the rhinestones.
Fluff.
I want the fun. Yeah. But I am trying to practice getting better. I was talking to somebody the other day about the intimate, love songs.
Sure.
And I only have one, To the Moon and Back, Baby. And that was a song that at the time when I was recording Release Me, my band and the producer we were working with was like, all these songs are pretty upbeat and fun, but we need a really nice, ballad.
Ballad, yeah.
So I had to dig, and I dug through my writings and I found a journal entry that was about this ex-boyfriend of mine, and I turned it into a song and added some chords to it. And it ended up, I've played it at weddings, I've played it at funerals, I've watched people cry listening to the song. And this was a song that I wasn't going to share with anybody. Right. I was embarrassed to sing it, honestly. Yeah. But that's the balls that it takes. Yeah. And you have to just give it to the world and watch what it does.
You have to be vulnerable.
Exactly.
Right?
And it's so funny watching a song take its own shape. Like something like my song Release Me, for instance. I wrote that song about leaving Montana, going back to Seattle, missing Montana and feeling like a part of me was still there. I had people come to me and just be like, that's a song about being dead, right? And I was like, ooh.
That's deep.
Right? But that's what a song does. It can take so many meanings for so many people.
Absolutely.
And that's what's so magical.
Different. It means something different to everyone.
It does, but that's what's so cool about it. You really don't know what a song's going to do for the world and your audience, but you can hope for the best. And I'm glad some people can latch onto them.
So what is your favorite song that you have written?
Probably Release Me. It's a special song to me now, especially because I co-wrote that song with my friend Billy Cook. He was in a band called the 357 String Band, and probably one of the most talented string players and songwriters. I recorded on his album Left to Remember, and it's still, to this day, one of my favorite records. I played mandolin and guitar, and I sang on that record. But we wrote Release Me together, just drunk in my living room.
Oh, wow.
And he's since passed away. He passed away, I believe it was this last January. And, he just left the world too soon. He was always a really deep, overly emotional, thoughtful person, really special.
Yeah.
But, had a hard life, and I get it. The world is hard. It can get really dark. But that song, it's so perfect because when somebody says that song about being dead, and then my friend has passed away. And so every time I sing that song, I do think about him, and I'm like, I feel like he's singing along with me wherever he is. But that song will always be very special to me.
Oh, that's cool. That's a great story. And sorry for your loss, for your
friend. Thank you. No, he was a wonderful person.
So let's talk about favorite covers. You do a lot.
Oh my gosh.
You do. I know Miranda. You like
Byron.
To do Miranda.
I love a good cover song.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for Saturday because Saturday at BBR is always my night. I do the official after party.
Right here.
Yes, right at the Chalice Roadhouse, center of the universe, baby. But that night, the first set will be a lot of my songs. I do 3 sets. The second set, we'll start doing more covers. And then by the third set, I'm probably not even going to be on stage. It's going to get taken over by everybody. All the musicians will come and switch out the drummers, and fiddle players will show up. And it ends up just being a big jam.
Oh, cool.
But we play a ton of covers. Right now, my favorite cover song, I was driving through Moab recently on my tour up from Texas to Seattle. And I heard, it's a Tyler Childers song that he gave to Elle King. And she recorded it on her new record. And it's called Jersey Giant.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know the song.
I've been covering that song because I heard it in Moab when I was driving through Arches.
Yeah.
And I just started crying, and I was like, this is such a beautiful song. I'm going to learn this song. And so I've been playing it at every show, and all the girls are singing along.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's a good song. So that's my favorite one right now. But there's a couple other covers I'm going to be pulling out of the woodwork for Saturday. Some 90s bangers.
Yeah, perfect. Well, we look forward to it. So, real quick, we're kind of taken over. They're supposed to start playing here.
Oh, hey, we can do whatever we want. It's Darci Carlson up here.
Don't you forget it. But a couple of things. Let's talk about your. I know you're working on a new album.
I am.
And you're working on a funding project for that. So let's talk a little bit about that. How does that process happen?
It's a crazy process. I'm a stubborn woman. Shocking, I know. I've always wanted to do things my way, DIY, and I fund everything myself. I don't have management. I did just hire a booking agent who's been a godsend. But I've done everything myself for 15 years. Like I said, first record, sock on the mic in my boyfriend's living room.
Right.
But I really want a professionally done record that is sonically pro, recording equipment pro, producer pro, engineers pro.
Right.
I've never done that.
Cool.
It's always been like kind of homie hookups and friends of friends, and
right.
I really want my next record, which is called Bad Girls Club.
Okay.
It's for the ladies, and it's a lot of fun, upbeat, great songs, empowering female empowerment songs, which boys will love too. But I have a GoFundMe that I'm going to be working with to help cover the cost of that, because these days to be able to do a professionally sounding record, man, like it is a lot. I mean, it adds up quick, from not even just the recording process, but it's all the post-production and just the manufacturing and the promotion and publicity. And if you want to do it right.
And even, I'm sure, the artwork for the album.
Oh my gosh, you can't skimp on those things. It got to be pretty, Byron.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I want to do it right, so I'm going to be doing a pre-sale. So anybody that donates to the GoFundMe will get a record, vinyl, T-shirts, whatever. There's going to be like a thing.
Sure.
I was going to announce it last Friday, but then I found out GoFundMe flagged me for doing that. You can't give things anymore.
Okay.
You used to be able to.
Okay.
But I have to go to like Kickstarter or some other platform to offer the levels.
Keep us in the loop, because
I will.
We'll
it's already half recorded. It's
already
it's already half in the bag. I just got to finish a couple more things and try to raise some money that'll cover at least half the cost for me to front it. Because that's the big problem. It's fronting those thousands and thousands of dollars, because like you said, I live on the road. I'm on the road. Over 200 days of the year. So
and what's really cool is that you do a great job of keeping us informed of where you're at and what's going on. I love that, and we follow you.
I got to take you on the journey, man.
Yeah. And that's what makes that connection, and that's what we want to do. That's our goal with Musical Miles podcast, is to share the music and share Darci Carlson with people who don't know him. We want to introduce you to those people, and this has been awesome. We appreciate you so much taking the time, and we will do this again.
Absolutely.
In fact, you're going to be in Bone, Idaho.
I'm going to be in Bone, Idaho. Yep, the 31st of August.
And we're going to come see you.
Isn't that a fun place?
It's such a great place. Amanda and her crew up there.
They're the best. And it's like a beautiful little amphitheater in the middle of these rolling golden hills.
Yeah,
my gosh.
Perfect. And I know you have a lot on your schedule between now and then. Where are you going between now and then?
So I'm actually going to go on the road with Jeff Crosby, and I'm going to be a merch girl for my vacation.
I
have a week off. And of course, Mama's working.
There you
go.
But
it is so fun with him. For those of you that don't know, I'm Jeff Crosby's girlfriend. We've played music together forever. JCDC, baby. But yeah, we're going to go to Reno and then around Oregon and Idaho. And I'm just going to be fishing and taking it easy and having fun. But then I start my big tour back down to Texas in September.
Awesome.
And then, be back down in Austin for the winter.
Perfect. Okay, so before we go, I'm going to put you on the spot.
I have
this little guitar here that Teton Guitars has donated to us.
Oh, really?
So I want you to play me a little ditty.
Okay.
I don't care what it is. Anything. There's a pick there. And then I want you to autograph it. You're going to be the very first autograph on that guitar.
Oh, I love that.
We're going to do this with every artist that we interview. So
I love it. This is just a little bit of Best I Ever Had.
Perfect.
This guitar sounds good. Well, I've been traveling around these two-horse towns, always feeling like a stranger. I drive around, find a bar, sit down, another drink ain't gonna make me any saner. 'Cause it's tense and talking and watching the clock ticket, directions from the old man out of here. I was passing through, tell the barmaid thank you. Well, I'll see you around this time next year. But it's always so unexpected. Build your wall up so someone will break it. But I'll just keep crossing my fingers. Oh no, not behind my back. 'Cause I've been pinching myself and casting spells. 'Cause you're the best I ever had. Oh yeah, you're the best I ever had.
Oh, thank you so much.
Hey Byron, you're amazing.
This has been awesome.
Thank
It's
you
been
for
great.
having me. I really appreciate it. And
Shanda, will you grab me one of those markers and let's have
absolutely, I would love to.
Oh, they're right behind me, right where I left them.
Oh, fabulous. Anywhere particular?
Nope, right, just wherever you want. I'll slide this out of the way for you. Thank you so much.
Boom, baby.
Perfect.
Byron, thank you so
Darci,
much.
Thank you. You are the best.
Hey, man,
Thank you
loved
from
it.
Musical Miles Podcast. Once again, remember to stop by and visit us on all our social media platforms. Go see us on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to our channel on YouTube. That way you get informed every time we launch a new podcast. And we're going to have a ton this week. We got a lot going on. Django just walked in the room, so
Django!
we're looking forward to it. All right. Hey, thanks again.
Thanks, guys.
Till next time. Adios.